And here we go again. This has been the first time on a journey that we've gone in a while. Look at this guy. She's driving about. Spartan! This is Sparta! Sparta! Sparta, Sparta! Sparta! I'm having too much fun. We're on our way to KW Vintage Games to pick up a copy of what did I buy? Final Fantasy IV Advance for the Game Boy Advance. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because obviously I haven't done the morning drive yet this week, so this is going to be like the afternoon drive, but only this is like the afternoon journey drive. And so we're on our way, and Mrs. snoozing back there. She's having a good sleep. And yeah, so it's Final Fantasy related, this discussion today, because there was something that popped up in my news feed the other day, in my old Facebook news feed, that maybe Pokey will comment on as we drive. But I must say, look at this nice shirt. It's pink.
Wow.
So, anyway, on with the show. I don't know if you guys have heard of yet, but there's a game coming out at some point in the future for the PS4 and I believe the Switch and everything else, called Astria Ascending. And I don't know if you guys heard of that, but Astria Ascending is basically this 2D, fully hand-drawn, animated... Is my finger in the way? I don't know. See, what I need is like a selfie stick. I totally need a selfie stick for this kind of thing.
Go on with your story.
Anyway, so Astria Ascending is a game that is releasing that is going to be fully animated, hand-drawn. The characters are all hand-drawn. The environments are all hand-drawn. Everything. And it's an RPG. It's supposed to be a JRPG, so you'll get like... and it's turn-based, which is even better for a lot of you turn-based folks out there. So, I'm not a big fan of turn-based JRPGs. I like Suikoden, and I like... Did I just call it Suikoden?
Suikoden.
I like Suikoden, or Suikoden. Anyway, I like those games. I like all the old Final Fantasies. I like everything, pretty much. So, I guess I am a fan of JRPGs, but the point I'm trying to make here is that we're moving into like an era. Do I want to call it an era or a generation where video games, I think, need to be more action-packed, like Action Jackson, like Kingdom Hearts style or Final Fantasy 15. Like all these games are making these changes now, right? They're all incorporating these newer aspects to combat, which is exciting. However, you got games like World of Final Fantasy, or obviously this Astria Ascending, or Octopath Traveler, games like this that are already doing a good job maintaining that status quo of turn-based battle systems, which is good. I mean, if you can do it well, then you might as well continue to do it, right? So here's what I'm seeing. Here's what I'm seeing from this game, though. This Astria Ascending. I'm all for this genre to come out and do its thing and be in the hands of everybody. But what really gets me frustrated, and don't worry, I'll try to keep this from not being a rant, is when games like this... Oh, there's a disturbance in the force up here. When games like this use in their marketing strategy, and I quote, "Veterans of Final Fantasy," or "Veterans of development from the Final Fantasy games," or "We have Square Enix team members on our team developing this game." And right there it makes me a little frustrated, because it's like we put everybody who works at Square Enix on, or who worked on the Final Fantasy games, or who worked on all these whatever really popular, like Chrono Trigger or whatever, right? We put all these people on a pedestal, and they're all just human, right? They're all just human. Just because you work at Square Enix doesn't mean you're like the most amazing developer in the world. Now, granted, they do have, like Astria Ascending does have Kazushige Nojima, okay? He's writing the narrative for the plot. But is the gameplay going to be any good? I don't know. I don't like side scrollers. That's just me, my personal opinion. There are other people out there that may like this game. I think the game is going to be written well. I mean, hell, he wrote Final Fantasy VII, right? Alongside Nomura.
Wait.
Whoa, what?
You just said that you're not putting people on a pedestal, but yet you're putting the guy on a pedestal because he's made other games that are good. So you're putting him...
No, okay, so... But I would do that for anybody as well.
But that doesn't make... You just
does. Listen.
What you said.
No, I said... What I said was, everybody at Square Enix, no matter who you are, right? You work at Square Enix.
Yeah, I know, but you just put that guy on a pedestal.
Okay, so then I'm going to say Nojima's a bad writer.
No, I'm not.
Like, can you say Nojima's a bad writer?
I don't even know the guy.
You do. You played Final Fantasy VII. You watched me play the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, so he's the one that wrote those?
Well, he was in with Nomura.
Oh, Nomura.
Well, Nomura is a whole nother topic. But what I'm saying here is that Nojima is just, again, another human. What the company is doing, and I'm not going to say, I don't know who the company is because I didn't, read it. But what they're doing is they hired these people specifically to write the game. Just because he's an accomplished writer, and of course, this is what I hate about, this is exactly what I was saying.
So you're
the
mad
companies,
because the company hired a guy that is well known for what he does so that the game does well because they put that guy on
in the marketing.
Okay, so what's wrong with that? They said, hey, this guy helped write this game.
Guy has some accomplishments. But everybody does that. No matter who comes out of Square Enix.
But that's
not everybody at Square Enix is good.
I know, but I'm just saying that guy was part of the game, so why not make a big deal about it? It's like when you go to a convention and they highlight a certain voice actor or whatever. They say Quentin Flynn is going to be at Anime North this year. Of course, people are going to be excited because Quentin Flynn is known for like Axel, and he was Reno in Advent Children, and he's done a lot of other voices. I'm sure. Those are the big ones that I know. So of course, people are going to be excited.
Why is it hot in here?
Because of our big hot mouths. That's why. All our hot breath expelling from our faces.
You gotta turn this up or down or something.
Okay. Go down.
Okay.
So that's why they did that.
Sweat.
Because they want their game to sell well. Whether or not it's going to be good is another story. It's like,
that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. Everybody was hype about what's that? 2077, Cyberpunk 2077, because of Keanu Reeves was in it.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm referring to.
But that's what companies do because they want their product to sell. They put all of that money and they effort into it. Of course, they want it to sell well, so they try to get a big name.
So they'll pump up the big names.
Exactly.
Right, like Nojima.
That's what the world is all about right now, is hype. It's hype central. Every time something is announced, it's hype. They want to hype it up so that it does well in marketing.
But hype can also lead to what? Badness. Like, who knows? It could set expectations. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, of course
setting
it is.
Expectations for a game that may not necessarily be any good.
Well,
who knows? Maybe it's good.
Any game.
There's another game called Fantasia, or whatever it's called, not Fantasia. It's Sakamoto?
I don't know.
No, hold on a second. I'll think of his name in a second. Sorry, that's the guy that's doing the artwork.
Every game is like that. Every big name game that comes out, every Pokemon game, people get super hyped about it. There's stupid leaks. Hamaguchi is the guy. And it's like people get
He's developing a new game.
Hyped up for all of these new Pokemon games, and then they come out and people bitch like Sword and Shield. Oh, the trees, N64 trees. How dare you put N64 trees in this game? It's like, who cares? It's just a small part of this game. Like, I enjoyed the game, and I didn't give in to the hype. I try not to give in to hype because I like to go into the games.
But that's you. You don't give into the hype, and I don't give into the hype.
Well, then,
right?
People
tons
need
of people
to learn
do give into the
to not give in to the hype. Even if there's a big name announced, you can say, okay, cool, that guy's going to be in there. Whether or not he's going to be shit in the game, who knows?
Right. That is exactly what I'm talking about. So this game, Astria Ascending, is hyping up the game. For all we know, could be a terrible game.
Well,
this is what I'm getting
that's
at.
any game. Any game can be like that.
No, not any game can be like that. Look at Octopath Traveler, for instance. Octopath Traveler was released under the radar.
Okay, that's
Complete release under the radar, and then all of a sudden it was super amazing. But there were no amazing Square Enix vets on that developing team.
Yeah, but this game, you said it's being released by a different company, right?
Yeah, it's released by whatever company.
Yeah, exactly. It's not Square Enix. Square Enix has a bunch of...
No, but in all of their marketing, everything, everywhere you look, they are saying Square Enix is helping with this.
Exactly.
Square Enix vets.
Because...
They're name dropping.
Exactly.
Because their game is going to be maybe not good.
Well, it doesn't... Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't matter because they're using Square Enix to pump themselves up. That's what every company does. Every small company. It's like 2P Project, like us. If we all of a sudden got an interview with Keanu Reeves, of course you're going to hype that shit up. Whether or not it's going to be a good interview...
That's a completely different argument.
No, but it's
we're talking about video games.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like
the interview with Keanu Reeves. If I ever got a chance to interview Keanu Reeves, it would be good, right?
Okay, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it'll be good.
But what I'm saying,
because everybody's just gonna look and go, "Hey, it's Keanu Reeves," not "Hey, it's Elliot."
This company that is creating this hand-drawn game is a small company, right?
It is a small company. I think it's an indie developer, actually.
Exactly. Yet they're getting help from Square Enix, which is a huge deal. So of course they're going to make a huge deal about it because it's exciting for them, and it could be exciting for the people who play the game. I mean, it's not every day that Square Enix goes out and helps a small company create a game.
And who knows if they're even helping. I think this is just a side project for Nojima, who just went out and decided he needs some more work. I'm just talking about Nojima, obviously, because he's involved in the writing.
But he's...
What are you doing?
That guy is known for working with Square Enix, right? So, of course...
She's going crazy.
He works under the umbrella of Square Enix, so everybody's going to say, Square Enix is helping!
Yeah, and then it'll promote the sales of the game.
Exactly.
I understand where marketing come from. What I get frustrated is that people will expect something from this game, and then we will buy it, and it'll turn out to be, maybe it'll be good. Okay, I'm going to give them that. Maybe it'll be good. I reserve my judgment until these games come out because I can't comment on them right now. But maybe it will be good. And then obviously everything I'm saying here will just be a shit show. But in the event that it's bad and people have set expectations for it to be good, then all of a sudden you see people posting, Nojima's a bad writer, blah, blah, blah. Hitoshi Sakimoto or whatever, is a terrible artist, and he shouldn't have been involved in that project. And now all of a sudden, Square Enix gets a bad rep. Right?
Yeah, but...
Obviously, companies are taking risks.
At the same time, though, Square Enix is always getting shit on. Like, seriously, Final Fantasy 15, people were so upset about that game, yet they somehow turned themselves around.
That was another game that was hyped to the roof.
But that's just it. Big companies can take the hit
because they said Hamaguchi was coming back. Is that his name, Hamaguchi?
They can take the hit because they're big. They can take a hit, but then still bounce back because they've got the resources to do that. Right? Right. They can, and they build. And that's how they build their brand too, right? By obviously, companies taking on people like Nojima, I guess, just to write their game, and then they can say, "Hey, Square Enix helped us with this. Look at this. The game's good." Right? Yeah, and at the same time, that Nojima guy can always just say, "Well, yeah, I was a part of it, but I wasn't really the main person. So really, it wasn't my work. I was just helping."
Right, and he's the narrative, and that's what I'm saying. And movies do this all the time too. There are movies sometimes, like for instance, Ryan Reynolds was in this fantastic movie. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody. But anyway, Ryan Reynolds was in the movie, and he wasn't really in the movie. So, I mean, how... And they pushed it. Oh yeah, we got big names. We got this guy, and we got Ryan Reynolds. And it's like, we literally went to the theater to watch this movie because of Ryan Reynolds.
Because he's
and then he wasn't in it. So, and the same thing happens with Jackie Chan.
He was there, and then he was gone.
Right. And it's like, the same thing happens with Jackie Chan movies sometimes. Jackie Chan's in this movie. And then you go and you see all these other crazy Chinese and Japanese actors, and they're amazing, but
they're not the person
you went to see the movie for. And so this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This whole name dropping and video game creation and everything is all related to the same topic, and that's, it's obviously it's a marketing ploy. But we know, like, I'm not going to say Nojima is a bad writer, but I'm also not putting him on a pedestal. I don't understand why they couldn't have got someone else to write.
Because they didn't want to.
Because they didn't want to. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe they just wanted that guy.
Maybe they would just want it to go up. So then, what is their motivation?
Maybe he offered.
Maybe. What is their motivation? What was their motivation behind wanting Nojima as a writer?
Well, if you said earlier in this video that he's produced other games that you've enjoyed, and you said Final Fantasy VII. I don't know. Okay, fine. Get my big brown head in there.
No, I'm trying to. I don't know why my screen is going dark.
Oh.
I don't think it's going dark though. I think we're still clear.
Whatever games you said earlier that I've watched you play.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And the remake, yeah.
Yeah.
Sidebar of Nomura in there. Anyway, those games were pretty good, right? The storyline was pretty good.
Yep.
Some people would argue otherwise.
Yep.
But, so he's a good writer. So what's wrong with...
Well, no, exactly.
So,
he is a good writer. I'm not going to deny that. That's what we're talking about. But he shouldn't be placed on a pedestal, and neither should anybody else at Square Enix.
But you did.
Oh my God! I didn't.
You did.
No, I said he was a good writer, and then I said he could totally be replaced by someone else, but this company wants him on the team.
Okay, so
and then they want to push his name.
Okay, that's fine.
But other companies are doing that too. This is what I'm talking about. Other companies take people from Square Enix and go, oh, he's worked at Square Enix, we want him on our team. Yeah, okay, but he might be shit. I mean, well, ask somebody who hates Nomura, okay? For instance, this is an example. Ask someone who hates Nomura if they would like Nomura on their team.
Well, obviously.
Then what? Then what?
Of course not, but
he wrote for Square Enix.
Okay, but he has an interesting writing style. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, it doesn't. What your argument doesn't make any sense.
How does it not make sense?
Because, whatever. I'm done. I'm done with this because obviously these people don't have any ill will against this guy.
No, obviously not. And he's a good writer. Same with Nomura.
You just said, okay, so what's wrong with him being part of this team and then them promoting it because he's a big name? Like that
I'm not promoting that.
No, but they are. And you're upset about this. Like if our business all of a sudden had a big name come into it, would you not want to say, hey, we've got help from so and so?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Because it's our business. That's like, okay, here's an example. So Naomi's been really concerned about the 2P project and us trying to bring a lot of people on board. And that's a valid concern. And anybody who's a part of the 2P project watching this right now, I mean, yeah, it's a valid concern. You've also identified it yourself. So the idea here is if we got, let's say, for instance, PewDiePie or whatever, to sign up on the 2P project, he brings tons of people. Now all of a sudden, this isn't the 2P project anymore, though. It's now the
sidekick of Pootie.
Yeah,
whatever the heck his name.
The sidekick of Pootie Project.
Pootie Project. Wow.
Pootie Project. Oh my God, that's a good name. Remind me that if I sign PewDiePie, our name will be Pootie Project.
PewDie Project. PewDie Project.
Oh my God, this conversation has gone way out of line. But anyway, all I'm saying is that if we were to bring in a big name, we wouldn't want to promote that it'd be promoting itself, right? And then obviously we'd get throngs of people to come and watch, but they wouldn't come to watch us. They'd be coming to watch PewDiePie, right? Same with writers.
Okay.
You bring writers on board, they're not coming because of the game. They're coming because of who's on board.
Exactly, but at the same time, that gives that small company
a shot,
an opportunity to prove themselves. And then, if they get that, if they actually take that opportunity and run with it, then people are on board with them. So then they can produce other things, and people will be interested in their other products.
I guess what we're talking about now then is collaboration, and I think this is the sum of it all. Is that, am I upset with a company that is creating Astria Ascending? Am I upset that they're collaborating with someone from Square Enix? No. Am I upset that they're name dropping despite and creating hype and expectations? Maybe. I mean, so many companies, and this is where I was going, so many companies out there place Square Enix on the top, on a pedestal.
Well, they have been around for a while.
And they have been around for a while, but they've also produced some pretty shitty games. Look at Marvel Avengers.
Okay, but
right? I mean, but they do have a long track record, so maybe what I'm saying is wrong. And I'm okay to admit that, but the point is that we can't constantly put these companies like Square Enix on pedestals, because then they can turn around and use that against us, right?
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense. Look at the games that they're releasing. Some of them are incomplete, and a lot of people have issues with that, right?
Okay.
But because it's Square Enix, it's okay. Obviously, that's another topic for something else. I mean, another topic for a different discussion. But that's essentially what we're doing here, is we're putting a company on the pedestal, and then it just gives them free reign to do whatever they want.
I just don't think that. I think what's going on here is that they're getting involved with Square Enix, and of course they're going to name drop, because that's a big deal. So that it hypes up. Yes. Well,
I know we're repeating ourselves.
No. This is the summary. Whether or not that game is going to be good is another story. But it has the opportunity. This company has the opportunity to do something good and create its own followers, like a better following,
and create its own game.
Yeah, well, create its own game and create a better. And if they do well at this game, then people will be on board with them.
And maybe they create a better product.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So then they'll have a bigger fan base. And then
they won't need to name drop people like Nojima.
Exactly. And at some point, they might be as big as Square Enix.
And there you go.
So that's the whole point, is that small companies collaborate with bigger companies so that they can get their name out there, so that they have the opportunity to make something of themselves.
And that is the bottom line. Thank you for following us on the morning drive, afternoon drive. We're on, and you know what? I brought this all up because I don't know if I mentioned, but we're on our way to KW Vintage Games to pick up a Final Fantasy game that I have put on the top of my pedestal. Final Fantasy IV. The game that I started my JRPG journey on. The game that taught me how to read.
The game you're playing on Twitch and you hate it.
I was getting to that.
Okay.
The game that I'm playing on Twitch that I absolutely hate, the Steam port version of it, and I should have played the old SNES version of it. And if you want to follow us on Twitch, you can follow us at the 2P Project. Jeff and I stream, or Draconant and I, we stream Monday to Friday from 10:30 p.m. until 1:30 p.m. Except this past week. This past week I've had a hell of a lot to do with school and the place that I work at, and then and Jeff's in for surgery this week.
Draconant.
Draconant. He is in for surgery this week. You know what? I can't do it. I'm gonna have to talk to him. I'm gonna have to say, look, dude, your name, you gotta use your real name.